One more little item of business before going on the move. Numbers 10, verse 1. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Make 2 trumpets of silver. You shall make them of beaten work. You shall use them for the calling of the congregation and for the journeying of the camps. When they blow them, all the congregation shall gather themselves to you at the door of the tent of meeting. If they blow just one, then the princes, the heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather themselves to you. When you blow an alarm, the camps that lie on the east side shall go forward. When you blow an alarm the second time, the camps that lie on the south side shall go forward. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the assembly is to be gathered together, you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm. The sons of Aaron the priest shall blow the trumpets. This shall be to you for a statute forever throughout your generations. Comment: the priests are going to blow silver trumpets to communicate certain messages. They'll be able to summon the entire congregation to the tent of meeting, or just summon the leaders of thousands. They'll also be able to signal marching orders, and there are more prearranged signals to come. Verse 9, When you go to war in your land against the adversary who oppresses you, then you shall sound an alarm with the trumpets. Then you will be remembered before Yahweh your God, and you will be saved from your enemies. Comment: the trumpet call to battle is also a call to victory. God never loses. It says when they blow the alarm, quote, you will be remembered before Yahweh your God, and you will be saved from your enemies, end quote. So may God remember us when we sound the alarm of prayer to Him. He will remember. This takes us to Ephesians chapter 6 again, the spiritual warfare chapter. The battle's already won if we're on the right side of it. When God enters the fight, things can get anticlimactic very fast. For instance, when the nations of the 4 corners of the earth gather themselves together at the end of the millennium, they'll surround the camp of the saints, and the attacking armies will be as the sands of the sea for number, but it'll all be over in one sentence. Revelation 20, verse 9, quote, Fire came down out of heaven from God and devoured them, end of quote, an end of opposition. Not every battle is going to be over as fast as that one, but God is with us in every battle, and He'll end it any time He wants. So let's sound the alarm of prayer. Verse 10, Also, in the day of your gladness, and in your set feasts, and in the beginning of your months, you shall blow the trumpets over your burnt offerings, and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, and they shall be to you for a memorial before your God. I am Yahweh your God. Comment: Leviticus chapter 23, Yahweh has already called for a number of specific offerings by fire at the yearly feasts, including the 7 days of unleavened bread, the 1-day observation of first fruits, the 1-day feast of weeks, the Day of Atonement, and an 8-day period at the Feast of Booths. That makes at least 18 days during the year that priests will blow trumpets over burnt offerings. Plus, there are going to be other times of gladness when Yahweh does something in particular or spectacular. The blowing of the trumpet will proclaim, quote, a memorial before your God, end quote. In other words, we could think of the trumpet as our signal to God for Him to please take notice. And He will. He's the one who came up with the idea. Our prayer is our trumpet. And still in verse 10, they'll proclaim the beginning of each new month with trumpets. The trumpet turns out to be prophetic, especially with respect to assembly. Christ is going to use a trumpet to dispatch His angels to, quote, gather together His chosen ones from the 4 winds, from one end of the sky to the other. Matthew 24:31. 1 Corinthians 15, verses 51 and 52 seems to describe the same gathering. Quote, Behold, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we will be changed, end quote. So that's an assembly in that verse to which we're all looking forward. Verse 11, In the 2nd year, in the 2nd month, on the 20th day of the month, the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle of the testimony. Comment: the cloud went up. They've been in Sinai for a long time, but this is the sign for Israel to pack up and wait on the trumpet signal to move. If we put this verse together with Exodus 12:2 and Exodus 19:1, we know they left Egypt about 13 months ago. They've been at Sinai 11 months. Verse 12, The children of Israel went forward according to their journeys out of the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud stayed in the wilderness of Paran. Comment, the wilderness of Paran is a little bit further north in the central and northern part of the Sinai Peninsula. Verse 13. They went forward according to the commandment of Yahweh by Moses. First, the standard of the camp of the children of Judah went forward according to their armies. Nahshon the son of Amminadab was over his army. Nethanel the son of Zuar was over the army of the tribe of the children of Issachar. Eliab the son of Helon was over the army of the tribe of the children of Zebulun. Comment, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun just set out. They're the camp to the east of the tabernacle. Yahweh organized them so the camp on the east sets out first. Numbers 2:9. Coming up, the Gershonites and Merarites, these Levites, will fall in behind them. They're carrying the entire tabernacle except for the furniture. Verse 17. The tabernacle was taken down, and the sons of Gershon and the sons of Merari who bore the tabernacle went forward. Comment, now after them the south camp of Reuben, which includes Simeon and Gad. Verse 18. The standard of the camp of Reuben went forward according to their armies. Elizur the son of Shedeur was over his army. Shelumiel the son of Jerishadai was over the army of the tribe of the children of Simeon. Eliasaph the son of Duel was over the army of the tribe of the children of Gad. Comment, now coming up, the third of the three Levite clans, the Kohathites carrying the tabernacle furniture. Verse 21. The Kohathites set forward bearing the sanctuary. The others set up the tabernacle before they arrived. Comment, now we find out why the Levites split up on the march. Most of the Levites fell in behind the east camp, but the Kohathites waited and fell in behind the south camp. By letting the Merarites and Gershonites go ahead, the tabernacle will be all set up by the time the Kohathites get there with the furniture. Now behind the Kohathites, the west camp of Ephraim, which includes Manasseh and Benjamin. Verse 22. The standard of the camp of the children of Ephraim set forward according to their armies. Elishama the son of Ammihud was over his army. Gamaliel the son of Pedazur was over the army of the tribe of the children of Manasseh. Abidan the son of Gideoni was over the army of the tribe of the children of Benjamin. Comment, now the northern tribe, the northern camp of Dan, which includes Asher and Naphtali. Verse 25. The standard of the camp of the children of Dan, which was the rear guard of all the camps, set forward according to their armies. Ahiezer the son of Ammishaddai was over his army. Pagiel the son of Akron was over the army of the tribe of the children of Asher. Ahira the son of Enan was over the army of the tribe of the children of Naphtali. Thus were the travels of the children of Israel according to their armies, and they went forward. Comment, the north camp is the rear guard, which is important because when Israel was on the way to Sinai, they weren't marching in any particular order, and the most faint and weary ones of them fell behind, and so the Amalekites took advantage of that and attacked them from the rear. Deuteronomy 25, verses 17 and 18. So now they have a rear guard. They're organized to prevent something like that from happening. Coming next, we have our introduction to the man Hobab. He's Moses' brother-in-law. He's the son of Ruel, the Midianite, which makes him the brother of Zipporah, Moses' wife. Verse 29. Moses said to Hobab, the son of Ruel, the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are journeying to the place of which Yahweh said, I will give it to you. Come with us, and we will treat you well, for Yahweh has spoken good concerning Israel. He said to him, I will not go, but I will depart to my own land and to my relatives. Comment, Hobab says, no thanks, I'm going to go back to my homeland, which is not far away. But Moses keeps after him, verse 31. He said, don't leave us, please, because you know how we are to encamp in the wilderness, and you can be our eyes. Comment, Hobab's a Midianite. He knows the desert. Moses wants him to, quote, be our eyes. Moses goes on, verse 32. It shall be if you go with us, yes, it shall be that whatever good Yahweh does to us, we will do the same to you. Comment, the text doesn't tell us how Hobab responded, but later in the book of Judges, chapter 4, verse 11, we find that Hobab's descendants are living with Israel, so it seems Moses did talk him into it. Yahweh's already said that foreigners should be more than welcome. Quote, the stranger who lives as a foreigner with you shall be to you as the native born among you, and you shall love him as yourself. Leviticus 19:34. So it seems the congregation did welcome Hobab the foreigner as an honored member of Israel because we see those descendants of Hobab living with them later on. Verse 33, They set forward from the Mount of Yahweh 3 days' journey. The ark of Yahweh's covenant went before them 3 days' journey to seek out a resting place for them. Comment: they sent the ark 3 days ahead to seek out a resting place for them. We'd like some more details about that. We might assume the Kohathites carried it since that was their job, and we might imagine a large party of armed defenders was with the ark as well. The pillar of cloud and fire was still guiding them, Numbers 14:14, so it must have been that this forward party was following the pillar and the rest of the congregation was behind by 3 days. Verse 34, the cloud of Yahweh was over them by day when they set forward from the camp. Comment: the cloud's a visible sign of Yahweh's presence. He's with them as they go and showing them the way at the same time. Verse 35, when the ark went forward, Moses said, rise up, Yahweh, and let your enemies be scattered. Let those who hate you flee before you. When it rested, he said, return, Yahweh, to the 10,000s of the thousands of Israel. Comment: of course, Moses wanted Yahweh to clear out any enemies that might have been in their path. Therefore, he prayed to Yahweh to go ahead of them when they were on the move. And he wanted Yahweh to be present with them in the camp. Of course, Yahweh is ahead of us and with us, and he's got our back as well. Psalm 139, verse 5, quote, you have enclosed me before and behind, end quote. That's the chapter. Find Numbers 11 at landofhavilah.net. Numbers 11. Here's the map of Numbers 10. The traditional location of Mount Sinai is here. It may or may not be the accurate location of the biblical Mount Sinai. Verse 12, the cloud moved into the wilderness of Paran. That's in this area. It's a dry, desolate place, and Yahweh will keep sustaining them with manna and water. See it for Numbers 11.